Bloom Apartments brings you an exceptional offer. For a limited time, get 2 months free, plus their unique all-inclusive package. Not bad for finding your secret garden in the heart of Gatineau. Visit bloomapartments.com.
We continue now with the story we've talked about a couple of times. It has been in the news many, many times. Court challenges, and we're talking about the situation with the deer in Michel-Chartrand Park. Home to more than 100 deer, almost 10 times the number that experts say it can comfortably support. The deer population has increased 238% over the past 5 years. A solution was needed. It was decided there should be a cull, and then activists have gone to courts, and there's been back and forth. The cull is now on again. Michel La Haye joins us. He's a biologist, the CEO of Enviro Sciences et Faune, an environment and wildlife consulting company. Michel, welcome back to the show.
Yeah, we will have to talk about it for many years, I think.
Oh, really? So let me ask you this, because, and you've been on the show a couple of times to talk about this.
Yeah.
You first off, tell our listeners, because you are in favor of the cull. You believe it's the best decision here. First off, tell our listeners why this is the best decision.
Well, it's the way they manage the deer in many places in the United States with urban and peri-urban deer, that they do a special hunting season with bow and crossbow. And it seems to be a good way to control the population. The problem we got now is that we are overpopulation. We got an overpopulation deer over there, and I don't think so. The hunt alone will be enough to put down the number of deer that they should be target. That's one point. And don't worry that the deer will get accustomed to the hunter. And I'm sure there will be some perimeter safe zone where there will be no hunt, because there is house around the park. And I bet you after 2 weeks of hunt, the deer will be all there. So there will be some deer collected from that. That is a good way. And in the next year, it could be a very good way to control the deer population. But now we have a problem, and I don't think so that in one season, the hunt will put the deer number enough down to reach the target. Uh-huh. That's one point. Second point is, let's say we can do it. Let's say the hunt works and the deer number is down. That is not the end of it. If Longueuil want to save the park and the biodiversity of his park, they will have to control the deer access to the park, like they do in big town in the west, in Banff and other city like that. They have fence around the town. They have metal track on the way to avoid the deer to cross the way. There is many ways you can manage an area to avoid the deer to going back, because if you put off deer, the forest will grow back, the young tree will come back, and there will be good food sources for the deer. So you can be sure the deer will migrate again into the park, and we will come back to the same point. Yeah, go ahead.
No, just, Michel, animal activists have gone to court a couple of times, I believe, over this, and they say there are other ways. You don't need to do culls. You don't need to do hunts. You can move them and that kind of thing. What are those activists missing? What are they getting wrong?
They're missing of knowledge about wildlife management. That's simple as it is. You want to move deer that will never be exposed to predator, never been exposed to hunter. In a region where the food is more maybe abundant at some point, but they will have to travel long distance to find it. And maybe in a region where the other deer have thickness that they were not exposed since a long time, and they will get the sickness, like they talked about St. Justin of Newton. There is a brain sickness there for the wild deer. If you bring the deer there, I'm not sure within a week they will be survivor. Mm-hmm. So I think it's just because they have the heart is talking instead of the head, and I understand that they will be that they could be very, very, very sensitive about deer. But what about the Renette Faugrillon, the little frog that got the habitat destroyed in Longueuil? Nobody cry about her.
Yeah.
But she's a living animal, and she needs habitat, and they will disappear. Nobody doing anything for it. So, because a frog is ugly and is not cute, So it doesn't bring people attention. And that's, again, a shown of lack of knowledge about wildlife, that for simple as it is.
Yeah,
So
that's such a good point. By the way, I want to emphasize this, right? So it's proven here. If you have a cute animal that you can post to social media and say, "I'm defending this cute animal," it's way more successful than trying to promote saving or protecting a quote unquote ugly animal like certain frogs, right? And that to me is such a great example of what's wrong in 2022, right? With how we think.
Well. People, you know what I think? People have access of a lot of information. Because they access the information, they think they know the subject. It's not because you have a easy access to the information these days with the web that you know the subject. No way. It takes years to understand wildlife dynamics and the way to manage them right. It takes years and years of practicing, making mistake and trial and success effort, and then you know your stuff. It's a knowledge, it's a know-how, and no way these people have it. And when I hear the guy from Rescue Animals say that it's a wrong decision as his point of view, I cannot understand that a wildlife manager can say that, because if you go at the pair opinion and you look at other articles about it, it's anonymous. Everybody will say, wild tail deer are hard to move. You will suffer from it, and even though you move them in some place, you may have a poor survival success. Yes, it's been done sometime. La Ferme Monette do it. They did that for Anticosti Island. Yes, you can do it, but at what cost? And what will be the success? So I think, and you know what? Overall of that, what is missing around here, it's a table for the managing the deer of all the suburban region. Somebody should stand up and call for a regional, table or group that will manage the deer. Because deer problem, you got some at Saint-Anne-de-Bellevue, you got some near L'Anse-à-l'Homme, you got some in Rivière-des-Prairies, Île-Charron, Île-de-Boucherville. All these places, you have overpopulation of deer. Mont-Saint-Bruno is a good example too. So I think it's time that somebody somewhere stand up and build a table or a group to manage the deer right, not only case by case, but, try to have an overview of the problem and try a solution for the whole system, not only some park and some island or some difficult point, I think we are there. It should be done. I don't know if it's existing. I don't think so, but it should be done, and they should start it as soon as possible, because more and more it will go, more and more problems we will have. We are destroying the deer habitat that's still on the island by development. Yeah. Like you say in Laval, they would destroy 700 hectares of wetland. So there is deer in there. And let's talk about the golf in Laval too, that they would change to make condominium. There is deer living there. Yeah. So the deer are get easier winter, and they are fed by people, so they have a good living success, and the population growing exponential in one way, and on the other hand, you're reducing the habitat available. So of course you're running for problem with that animal for sure. And don't talk about controlling the coyote on the island because people are afraid for them dogs. Yeah. Oh, well, there you got the good cake recipe to have a big problem.
Michel, listen, we have to leave it there. I want to thank you for bringing your expertise to the show and just talking about all of the facets of this issue. It's not a simple one. There's so many things to consider, and I always appreciate your expertise on this. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for giving me time to express that and explain to people. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Michel La Haye is a biologist and the CEO of Enviro, Science et Faune, an environment and wildlife consulting company.